It is extremely important to me that the stories we share are authentic and that we strive to tell both perspectives. I've been a local to this remarkable island 3 times and a tourist too many times to count. Our Home Your Holiday celebrates Aruba. There's a reason why Arubans are so patriotic, and there's a reason why visitors keep coming back. Let's dive into the elements that makes Aruba our home and the perfect holiday. You are probably wondering, why are we standing in front of Pete's? Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Yentalu. To celebrate our Home Your Holidays 1-year anniversary, I wanted to share content with you guys that's really fun, but also uniquely local. So here we are in front of Pete's truck. It is one of my favorite food trucks on the island. Their tenderloin sandwich with garlic sauce is unmatched. So let's get into it. The food truck culture, Riba nos isla.
So chicken satay.
Steak and cheese basket.
Quesadilla.
Mixed basket.
The chicken wings, deep fried chicken wings. You can't never go wrong with that.
Steak burrito without vegetables, with extra cheese and extra sauce.
Yes, some classics that you can expect to find at various food trucks on the island of Aruba. The food truck culture is big here. There are many stops to pick from in any given neighborhood. Locals must love these trucks in order to keep so many of them in business. So I went to ask them what it is they love about the trucks, and there seems to be a few reasons.
I really love food trucks. It's something very multicultural here in Aruba. I think all the food trucks are a little bit different and they bring out different tastes, and I think the locals respond very well to it.
It's quick, it's easy, and it tastes really good.
I think it's convenient for I don't have to cook and some of them are really good in flavor-wise.
I think it's the combination of convenience of not needing to cook. People who work maybe till 7, 8 p.m. Can always come and get their food right away. But also the taste and of course the sauces. We Arubans are crazy about the sauces. Whenever they ask what sauce do you want, it's nearly all of them combined. It makes a big mess, but in your mouth, it's delicious.
What I like about it is different from restaurants, So it's food you don't usually eat in restaurants or whatever, and it's fresh and it's more local vibe,
I like this truck because the taste from the food is sweet. Once you try it, you will like it forever.
One thing is for sure, stopping at a food truck to grab something to eat is more than just another meal. It is actually a cultural experience. Do you think food trucks is part of the local culture?
Yes, of course, yes.
And why do you think that?
Because we have a lot of food truck, and so we like it.
Yes, I do think there are quite a lot of food trucks on the island, and it is part of the local culture, I believe. I see a lot of whenever I go there, I see a lot of local people there. So, well, that's one. Two, the prices. It's if you look at the restaurants, especially in the touristy Palm Beach area, it's very expensive, especially for locals. So this is quite a good solution. Food is good.
You have many trucks that are here on the island, different varieties, and people have a lot of favorites at a food truck. So it's not always that this is your favorite food truck. Maybe you like this at this food truck, then you like that food at another food truck. So I think that's why there are so many, because you can always mix it up and it will never get boring.
That's the one thing that I could say that I absolutely think that is kind of essential here, is if you go to the food trucks, you will get a lot of cultural experience.
Since food trucks are evidently a big part of the Aruban culture here, I asked them if they would recommend tourists to take the opportunity to venture to a truck while vacationing on the island.
Well, if I meet tourists and they ask me that they want to come to some place to eat, I will tell them they have a choice. They can use the truck because there they get different food and they will like it. It's not the same thing like in the restaurant.
I think part of like coming to Aruba is also like doing what we do as locals on Aruba, like stopping by a food truck.
Oh yeah, I would definitely recommend you trying a food truck. It's something different than your regular restaurant that you find by the high-rise area if you want to experience Aruba as the locals do in a way. Definitely try it. I mean, there are great restaurants on the island, but also these food trucks are very delicious, and you also support the small businessmen.
The multicultural aspect on the food trucks seem to be quite the attraction. Take Julio, for example. He owns the Julio food truck and is from Venezuela. So he does his best to serve authentic Venezuelan flavors to the people of Aruba.
For example, in my place, I try to make the culture from my country. I come from Venezuela, then everything what we make over here is from Venezuela. So we try to bring our country to Aruba because it's many Venezuelan mix it up over here. So we're gonna try to bring something from us to Aruba.
What is that?
Pequeños. It's a really Venezuelan dish. We eat it in the morning, we eat it as a breakfast, at the night. We make it, this is our best sellers also. Sometimes at 10 o'clock we don't have it anymore. Cheese fingers, but yeah, the flavor of Venezuela is over here, you know. Really nice.
Ruiz has been around for 20 years. It is currently in their second generation. Ruiz's son has taken over the operation. I used to live in Paradera, so Ruiz has always been my favorite. My go-to item for them is the oyster soup. They have a lot of other popular items as well.
Steak and cheese, chicken wings, boneless chicken, of the garlic shrimps too.
What about your oyster soup?
No, oyster soup. Number one on the island.
Number one on the island. Food trucks can certainly satisfy your cravings, and it offers a cultural experience unique to this beautiful island of Aruba. There is something that is certainly true when it comes to the food truck culture Riba Nos Isla, and that is everyone has their favorite, whether it is because of the taste of the food or it's the people inside the food truck serving it, and it could simply be because of the convenient location, and that is usually when it's closest to their home. There's one thing for sure though, I simply couldn't imagine this island without these food trucks. Carnival 70 is around the corner. If you were to speak to Carnival enthusiasts, you would come to find out that a lot of them are already preparing for the big parade. So when it comes to any given year, this is a cultural fanfare indeed, let alone the 70th milestone. So let's get a little reminder on this fantastic street celebration and get into the history of it.
Carnival is I would say one of the biggest cultural celebrations on the island.
I think it's safe to say we all agree with that statement. Actually, we can go as far as saying that Carnival is the biggest cultural celebration on the island. Aruba is preparing to jump to Carnival 70, which is a major milestone. Let's dig a little deeper into this vibrant fanfare and ask Dr. Richardson, the cultural anthropologist who has conducted studies on the island's carnival, on how this grand celebration all started.
The Aruban Carnival became very popular, and some would say it was introduced by primarily, let's say, English-speaking Caribbean immigrants when they came to work in the Lago oil refinery in the early half of the 20th century.
The first street celebrations in Aruba were born as a result of the migration of islanders who came to work at the oil refinery, bringing their unique traditions and culture with them.
Of course, these people who came from the different islands, including Trinidad, Grenada, St. Kitts, Nevis, Carriacou, St. Martin, so let's say the Dutch English-speaking
islands, Sebastopol, and they brought their culture with them, and they, where they primarily established, which was in St. Nicholas, created this street culture, this street carnival as well.
According to Dr. Richardson, there may still be debates on the precise history and origin of Carnival, but there's certainly one thing we can all agree on. You will know when it is Carnival season. The entire community on the small island nation of Aruba cannot deny when it is parade time. You can simply feel it in the air, whether you are an enthusiast of the cultural celebration or not.
People prepare, they spend loads and loads of money to get their costumes ready, and they want to hit the street on Carnival Day because it's their moment to shine. And so it's embedded in the culture, and even though not everyone participates, but it affects the entire society irregardless. It means basically that whether you are in it or not in it, it permeates the entire society.
The cultural festivities goes far beyond the glitz and glamour you see on parade days. Local schools get involved with Carnival. There are multiple music festivals tied to the season, such as the Tumba contest. There's elections of all kinds and even a little comedy. Safe to say, the Carnival season covers a lot of areas.
So, for example, you have children parades as well, children festivals. So the same festivals you have for adults, you also have for kids. And prior to the children festivals, there are queen elections and what we would call the Prince and Pancho competitions, which is a sort of the joker, so a jester type of competition where they tell jokes, etc. And in the different schools. So the kids are making their costumes, and creating their dances, their songs, writing their jokes, performing. So there's a whole lot of movement going on.
Get ready for Carnival 70. Ladies and gentlemen, you can guarantee that Aruba will put on a grand show for sure. Our island is becoming cleaner, more resourceful, and more efficient with the Baki Bario initiative. Take a look. It is early Saturday morning. What could these cars and trucks be lining up for? Believe it or not, this is all part of a community effort to separate and minimize waste on the island, also known as Baki Bario, and also known as Limpi Limpi, which translates to clean, clean. Drivers with fully loaded cars are greeted and asked what kind of waste they've brought in. They are then directed on where to take the waste. Let's face it, we have all sorts of trash. It can be an old mattress, maybe even an old toilet, and so much other garbage that we need to get rid of. If you bring it to Baki Bario, all the waste partners are all there at the same time, working simultaneously towards the same cause. I'm talking about Apex, Ecotech, Serlimar, and others. Baki Bario is a national campaign to drive awareness to the community of Aruba that in order for our waste to be recycled and to minimize the amount of trash going in our nature, we have to separate it. This initiative benefits the entire community of Aruba.
What the community is doing today is helping us reaching our common goal, because this is not only for the government, but it is for all of us, even for the citizens, that we start separating our waste so that it can be processed in a responsible manner and it doesn't end up in our nature.
What's really important to understand is that when waste is sorted, it enables various companies to locally recycle and reuse the materials, thus reducing waste and extending the lifespan of these resources on the island.
By processing the waste in a responsible manner, it is being created into raw material, as I previously mentioned, that we can either locally use or raw material that we can export. Just a quick example. The concrete waste is being collected separately, and this will be recycled and reused in concrete that is being used to build locally as well.
With this tremendous turnout from the community, it seems like the residents of our island are beginning to understand the necessity to separate waste and be on board with the fact that we all have to do our part to help minimize waste on this small island.
I think the takeaway from all the Baki and Bario activities that we have had so far is that the community is ready and willing to separate the waste so that they can be processed in a responsible manner.
Here is the schedule for the rest of the year for Baki and Bario. Mark your calendar for when it happens in your neighborhood.
2023, in the month of November and December, this activity is going to take place every weekend from district to district, and by doing this we are also stimulating and helping the community to deposit the waste and so that they can be processed in a responsible manner.
Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed the show. Remember, all our stories and full episodes can be accessed on demand via our YouTube channel at Our Home, Your Holiday. Signing off right here in front of Pete's Food Truck, I'm Yentl Liu. We'll see you next time.